I'm Tyler Vela of the Freed Thinker podcast.
Tyler!
Hey guys, I was remembering back to a conversation that I was overhearing on Discord a few days ago. And this particular server on Discord is an atheist server. I don't want to give out names or anything like that. Normally it's pretty interesting conversations. I don't get involved very often. I just kind of ear hustle the conversations. And in this particular conversation, one of the atheists in the group had said something about how he was just super incensed about how his government in a time of crisis had called for, I don't know if it was a national fast or if it was some kind of, hey, you know, the government officials are going to fast or something like that. And they started mocking this as a tactic. And they said, you know, as in a secular government, why don't they just say that they're going to, you know, roll dice for it? Or why don't they just say that they're going to play the lottery for it or something like that? Or, you know, use the Ouija board and so on and so forth. I'm going to make this video pretty short, but my main response goes back to this is just one of those pejorative failures to disambiguate concepts that's really common among online atheists these days. The problem here, if you haven't caught on, is the difference between the methodology of rolling dice or using the Ouija board and the purpose that fasting has in religious life. So for those of you atheists who are listening and you're thinking, oh, well, that's actually a pretty good example. That's a pretty good analogy. Tyler, why are you saying there's a difference? Let me walk out the difference for you. The difference is that fasting isn't just leaving everything to blind fate. It's not just leaving it to luck.
Like a leprechaun.
It's not like saying, hey, we're going to flip a coin or we're going to use a Ouija board or we're going to roll a dice and that's going to determine the outcome. In Christian piety, the practice of fasting is actually in order for the Christian to devote themselves to God in such a way that they might be more attuned and act more wisely in their decisions. So it's not like they're saying, hey, tonight we're going to fast, tomorrow morning we're going to roll some dice, and then whatever happens, happens. It's outside of our control. We're not going to apply ourselves. We're not going to try to legislate. We're going to wake up and, you know, magically there's going to be legislation laid out for us via the Ouija board. That's just methodologically and epistemologically different than what fasting is within the Christian religion and religious practice. So if a government says that they are going to devote themselves to prayer and fasting during a time of crisis, what they're saying isn't that they're going to, you know, somehow abandon their constitution or abandon all reason or logic or whatever it is. What they're basically saying is, hey, we'd like to devote ourselves in such a way that we can act wisely and prudently. Now, the atheist might think, well, all you're doing is starving yourself. There's no religious merit to that. That's all fine and well. We would just disagree with you. But you still should be honest enough to be able to say that that's not the same thing as just rolling the dice or playing the Ouija board, where you're looking for that as a mechanism to make your decision for you. Those are two just conceptually distinct things. And honestly, you know, if you're gonna try to say that you're a reasonable atheist and you're going to somehow dispute Christianity, you're going to present an objection, or that this is, you know, somehow an accurate objection to some Christian practice, then you shouldn't be building up straw men to knock them down via false analogies. That's it. All right. Good night. God bless.